Hey guys, it's Jim304 here, and today we are taking a look at a Ninjago 2015 summer set. This is 70738, the final flight of Destiny's Bounty. This set had 1,253 pieces, released for $120 in summer 2015 with the possession wave of sets. And adjusted for inflation, it's about $162 today. So we're going to take a look at the ship, the dragon, and then we'll take a look at the minifigs later on. But let's get started with taking a look at the actual bounty itself. This Destiny's Bounty is not my favorite rendition of the ship. It might actually be my personal least favorite. I don't love the olive green color that's mixed in with the dark red and brown and black. It just doesn't work for me. I think if all of that would have been just regular red, I feel like this would have been a lot better of a set in my opinion. I did a full comparison on all of Destiny's Bounties. You feel free to check that out. It'll be a card up here. But as for the actual ship itself, it has a large mast sticking out the front. You can open and close the dragon head, and it's pretty nice. The dragon head is built up. It has a couple stickers which don't seem super necessary for added detail, but they are there, so it's a thing. The ship also has some nice side detailing, just some slight metallic gold that you can barely see, but like if the light hits it right, then you can see the gold printing on this large slope piece. There is a lot of space to move figures around, not quite as much as you would think for a ship of this size, but there is a fairly decent amount of space. There's just a couple crates that have just some random things. This one has a teapot, a cup, and then like one of the things that represent steam, I guess. This crate here has just some extra tools, and then a pirate hat, a couple extra studs for the stud shooters, and it also has a broom, so that's a thing. You can open and close these two little side panel things. They just have a couple accessories in there. One has a crowbar, and then this one has a silver katana. It has some nice built-up detailing using like the sword of fire piece and then the gold accents that it uses with these larger blade pieces. I think that looks really nice. The stud shooters work very simply. You can push down all three, like this lever, which has a sticker on it. It's the same thing on either side, and it will fire all three at once. I'm not going to demonstrate that because they will go everywhere and I will lose them. There's a little bucket back there. I just have the extra spring-loaded bolt, which we'll get to that in a little bit. And as for the sails are nice. They are made of vinyl, not paper like the previous one. It has this nice large printed dish on the front, which I think looks very, very cool. But as for the sails themselves, the way to get them into flight mode would just be to pull this down, and then it would lock into place if this crate was not sitting here. So that, and then the sails are now in their flight mode, and to release that, you just lift this little lever in the back, and it should go back to normal. Mine's a little bit of an older set. I got this in 2015, so the mechanism isn't quite perfect, even though I just rebuilt it. It has a little bit of stiffness to it, but that's perfectly fine. And it just looks really cool when you do that. You can also get it to go, I think, a little further. Maybe not. And then just retract the sails down. The vinyl does get stuck sometimes, so that's a thing to be wary about. I wish they were paper for that reason, or cloth, like one of the newer bounties has had. But overall, not too bad. There is also one of the coolest things for a Ninjago set. This is a handle. It just slides right into place, and it holds the entire weight of the set at like almost the center of gravity for it. So I'm just holding it with one hand, and it doesn't really want to lean forward or back. And that's just so cool to have this. I wish more Ninjago sets would have this feature built in, especially like Destiny's Bounties. This is the only one that has ever had any feature of this variety. The engines are built up pretty nicely. They use 3 stickers on each side, just some extra detail that I don't think are super essential to the look of it, but overall not too bad. And the way to activate those is you pull back on this large like turret thing. The engines will fold back and then down, and then just push it to reset it, like that. And you can have the ship landed while the engines are up, but to reset them, you want to pick the whole thing up with the handle, and then just push them back into place. Moving on to interior space, there is a decent amount of cabin space inside the ship. So if we just lift this up, we'll get to this little side build. You see there's a little rat with a cheese slope, an unprinted cheese slope, and I just think that's really cool. It's an unnecessary detail that they put in. and I think it looks pretty good. There are 2 seats in there. Only one good guy minifig can actually sit in one of those seats, being Master Wu. The other ninja have armor that prevents them from sitting on the actual seats themselves, but you can stand one, and the roof will, I guess the roof would still close. It works, but not ideal for this situation. Obviously, they didn't have the pieces that we have now at the time to make something like this work. But overall, I think it's pretty good. You got 3 stickers on these consoles that are slightly angled, and the one in the center is straight. There's a couple little levers down in there. And then there's these large spring-loaded shooters with the rubber tip on them. You can tie a piece of string to those, and they work. Obviously, you just push them in. These doors aren't supposed to be open, but you push it in, and it'll fire out. I'm not going to fire it directly at the camera, because it will probably break my phone. And then just the same details on the other side, just obviously mirrored. The engines are built up really nicely. I finally got the mechanism to work after I rebuilt my set. And then this can also just close back up, just like that. And then there is one more thing about this bounty. This is a whole little sub-assembly that you can just pull out, open these up, open this up, and it's a little workshop for a bike for Nia. Now, Nia never rode this bike in the show. Nia never had anything like this at all in the show, to my knowledge or remembrance. I don't know why it's here, but you know what? It fills up the space pretty nicely, and you can also stand a couple figures up here at this back section, or just get easier access to put figures inside there. And the bike is built up pretty nicely. It uses these silver cut pieces, these large butterfly swords, I believe is what they were called. And overall, the bike just looks pretty good. It has a dark red motorcycle frame on just a standard bike frame with no wheels attached to it, because it's supposed to be like a hover bike. And that just clips in on this little tan piece back here, and there's some tools. The extras are put into that crate that I showed you earlier. And to fold this back up, just fold the sides in, fold the top down, and then just slide it right back into place, if I can get it lined up. Just like that, and it clips in. It uses a clip to ratchet joint connection, which is pretty good. It actually holds it pretty well. It's not going to move unless you like violently shake the thing. But overall, not too bad. And the roof is built up very nicely. I like the way the angle is formed. It uses a couple ball joints at the front. I like these lanterns here with a translucent medium blue head with the drum lacquered gold colored dishes on either side of it. I think it looks really nice and it works really well. There is no anchor on this ship, unfortunately, which kind of bums me out a little, because I think every other bounty has an anchor of some variety, but this one does not. And again, I just like the way the roof is built up, the way the angles are captured. You can move these up and down if you want to. You're not really supposed to, but it is a thing you can do. The bad guys in this set are not completely outmatched. They get this little ghost dragon, and I'm not a big fan of this build. I've never been a big fan of this build, because if you try to lean it forward like you would think it would go, it's just going to fall over. So you have to have it like angled like straight up, and it just makes for a really weird look, in my opinion. You can move the head. It has a ball joint, and same thing at the neck here. You can move them around. You can open and close the mouth. And the wings can move in and out. I just broke that piece off. That's not that big of a deal. But you can move the wings. It has claws that you can close on either hand. It's pretty nice. The tail is built up using all of the Mixel style ball joints. And there is a place for a figure to sit. You could also, I guess, put one of the ghost-tailed minifigs back there. I don't know if it'll actually work. I'm pretty sure it does, but they just have extra studs. I guess you could also just put Moro's swords there so he could actually hold on to the chains. I like the color scheme of this, but I wish this would have been left out or just made its own set and then had the bounty be $100 even instead of $120. Do I think this is worth $20? Yeah, I would probably say so. I think this is worth $20 of parts. And obviously the legs can move as well, the feet. And it has just some nice articulation. You can move the body separately, but again, I just don't necessarily know that it needed to be here. I feel like it would have been just fine at $100 without this, and then had this be a $20 set. The 3 figures we're going to take a look at are Lloyd on the left, Cole in the middle, and Nia on the right, all sporting their deep stone robes, even though Nia's doesn't technically look like it's made of deep stone, but I guess it's implied that it's deep stone, but I'm not really sure. I don't know. Overall, these figures have a nice level of detail. Cole gets the arrow blade, which isn't even technically his arrow blade. His arrow blade has black small horn pieces on it and a translucent orange tile. So I don't know why he has this arrow blade in the set. That's just how the box shows it. Could it be Master Wu's Arrowblade? Master Wu never had an Arrowblade, so maybe it's his Arrowblade. Don't really know. And here's a better look at their face prints. Lloyd gets his aged up version of his face print introduced in 2014. Cole gets his standard one from 2011. And Nia gets a one that I believe is used commonly in City, or at least it was. Doesn't really represent Nia in my opinion, but it's fine, I guess. And around the back, there's just some nice detailing as well. Some nice metallic printing with a little bit of silver on Cole and Lloyd. And I like how these suits just share an element. Like, they're unified. You know that they're all part of the same team. Except for Nia. Nia doesn't look like she belongs here. But you know what? Still fine by me. I think these suits look really good. One of my favorite suits for Ninjago. Oh, I almost forgot. They do include hair pieces for each of the ninja in this set. So you can also have them hood down with their hairpiece on, which is very nice in my opinion. It's always good when LEGO does this. Not a super common thing, especially for 2015, but it's still good in my opinion, and I'm glad they did it. The next two figures we're going to take a look at are Master Wu on the left and Moro on the right. Moro is exclusive to the set because of the cape piece, which is fine, I guess. I think the cape comes in other sets that are non-Ninjago sets. I'm not 100% sure about that, though. Master Wu is not exclusive. He comes in 3 other sets, I believe, according to Brickset. Around the back, the figures have pretty nice detailing. Moro's you can't really see unless I flip up the cape, but he is the same figure, base figure, that is found in the Air Jitsu flyer. So this is not exactly the cheapest way to get him, or actually even the second or third most cheapest way to get him. It's the most expensive way to get Moro. But Master Wu has very nice printing. This is not particularly one of my favorite Master Wu suits. I just don't like the gray. I don't think it suits him all that well. And here's a better look at their face prints. Moro is on a translucent neon green head. He also has the 2 translucent neon green legs, which I think looks very good. No alternate faces for either of these, so that's why I left Moro's hairpiece on. And I think the face print for Master Wu looks pretty good. The front of the torso is actually not as bad as I remembered it being. Most of the time it's covered up by the beard. You can see that little bit of subtle gold printing on there, which is nice. I wish we would see that more. And then Moro has the Green Ninja emblem on the front of his chest. Next up, on the left we have Blade Master Bancha, and on the right, Scythe Master Gultar. They have very nice built-up weapons, and I think they look pretty good. They have trans neon green elements marbled with the dark blue for the tail, and I think it looks good. Much better than the Legacy version, which used purple to marble, and I just don't think that worked as well. Pretty nice figures overall. I like the ghost tail piece, obviously very suitable for ghosts and not for snake queens. Looking at you, Asphera. But overall, these figures are pretty good. Let's take some stuff off to see the other printing. Taking a better look at their face prints, Bancha's isn't as bright as it probably should be. I believe it's using the spring green color that's just printed on the neon green head. Gultar's looks pretty good with the white printed on, and he also has some damage shown at the back, and he also has a Lego skeleton showing through his torso print, through his cloth, which has been ripped. And I think that looks really good. I like the torso prints on both of these. I think Gultar is better overall, just because he's a more detailed figure, more printing on him. But both of these figures are pretty good. The last 2 actual minifigs are Soul Archer on the left, who is exclusive to the set because of the legs, not the ghost tail. And on the right is Spider, S-P-Y-D-E-R. Very original. Wonder how they got that name. Anyway, these figures look pretty good. Nothing too super crazy special about them. Spider reuses the same hood piece that Bancha had. Gultar has a nice dual molded one as well with dark blue and purple, which is a good color scheme, and LEGO doesn't really use it too much. I don't think they've used it much at all outside of this line of sets, if I'm not mistaken. And taking a look at their face prints underneath and the torso for Soul Archer, some nice metallic printing there. I think that looks really good. Has some nice depth to it. His head print, pretty good as well, showing like a beard. So that's interesting. Has some nice detail going around the back as well, and it has a representation of a quiver. No quiver is included for him in this set. I believe another set does come with it, but not this one. And for Spider, just a generic Ghost Foot Soldier using the purple colored torso. And they all have translucent neon green legs, which I think is fine. Looks pretty good. Last two things in the set are these two Screamers that use a brand new, what was a brand new piece at the time for their body, or just single piece molds. One has a piece of TNT and a blade of some variety, and the other has a banana and a sai. Don't know why. No idea. No idea what's happening here. I guess this one's maybe hungry and just wanted a banana. And the other one just likes to blow things up, which is interesting. Has some nice shaping around the back. And if for those of you who don't know, with these, you can take them and put it on a minifig head to possess them. And I think that's pretty cool. It's nice that it has that compatibility. So in conclusion, what do I think about this set? It's fine. Like, it's a solid set. I don't love the dragon. I don't love the olive green color on the bounty. But other than that, I think the rest of the set is pretty good. The minifigs are nice. You get nice balance between good and bad. Nice playability. I like the handle that's built in. I like the way the thrusters work. Now that I actually have it built correctly, which was a problem that I ran into in my comparison video, which you can check out popping up on screen here in just a few seconds if you're still watching. The dragon, like I said, it's a throwaway. It's extra parts budget at the time, I guess. The sails, I wish they were not vinyl. I wish they would have been paper or cloth. Other than that, it's a solid set. I would give it like a 7 out of 10. Change the olive green to red, or even just make it dark red. I think that's fine. Anyway, let me know what you think of this set. Let me know what older Ninjago set you want me to review next. If you have any requests, leave them in the comments down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys on the next video. This is Jimblade304, signing off. Bye.